Hello YouTube, Tammy as a yarn crafter here. Long time no see. I know, right? Okay, so this is Wednesday morning and I am here with 4 WIPs for you. This first one may take me a little longer to talk about, and I'm sorry about that in advance. But here we go. So I don't know if you guys saw my Christmas Day video I put out showing off everything that my husband bought me for Christmas. Well, one of them was the Comfy Cotton Blend, and I'm sorry the label she ripped. This colorway is Chai Latte. It's a size 3 weight yarn. It is 50% polyester, 50% cotton, and it came in a 4-pack. Now, originally when I picked it out just for the cakes. Originally, I believe this was the pattern that was on the front, and I did not realize there was a second pattern. We will talk about this one in a moment. So anyhow, I thought, okay, I want to make this pattern, and I'm sorry it's in black and white. That's how the pattern came. And I thought that's pretty simple. It's just the filet cardigan pullover, or sorry, filet crochet pullover. And the designer is, give me a minute here, Marty Miller. So anyways, I've never done any of her patterns before that I'm aware of, but I thought it's kind of cute. It's a summery type top. I can wear it over top of a tank top in the summer months and be okay with it. Or even over top of my bathing suit, like, if I'm walking down to the beach or something like that and I want my shoulders a little more covered, because being a natural redhead, yeah, I burn pretty easily, and no, I don't wear sunscreen. Okay, so a little bit about the pattern. It's classified as an easy. It comes in size small, extra small, small, medium, and large. I'm a little bit bigger than a large. I'm probably about a 1X. Now, it does call for a size 3 weight yarn, which the Chai Latte cotton yarn is. So I thought, perfect. It gives you obviously your, abbreviations and stuff like that. Specialty stitches, and I will show you a better view of the front view of said cardigan or shirt. Oh, hope you guys can see that okay. Now, when I looked at that picture, originally to me, it looked like it was 2 rectangle panels sewed across the seam at the shoulders, in a square kind of box collar, because it's done straight across, and then sewed down from under the armpit area down to wherever the length was. So that okay. And I'm the type of person, I don't really read my patterns through very well, and I just jump in, my feet tied together with a cinder block, my hands cupped behind my back, blindfold over my eyeballs, and thrown in the ocean kind of person, just jump on in, blind as blind could be, and not any way to get help if needed. So I got looking at it, and I thought, okay, it calls for this, for the large size, because that was the largest the pattern came in. It calls for so many stitches across, certain size of hook. I thought, okay, let's get out the hook and make it. And I did, I think, 4 rows originally, and I kind of measured across the widest part of the chest. And it was going to be very well stretched out and very tight. So I thought, okay, that's not going to work for my size, and I really wanted to make this for me. So I ripped it out. I then went up. I think this one called for a size 5 hook, and I think I went up to 6.5. So I went up a few sizes, and again, I cast on, did as many stitches as I need to for the base, did a couple row repeat, measured it again, But okay, that fits a little better. And I thought, I've got 4 skeins or 4 cakes, so I should have plenty of yarn, even though I went up the hook size multiple times. And I thought, hopefully I'll have enough to make both panels. So I got working on it a little bit. I don't know, I think I was about 6, maybe 8, 10 rows, something like that, into it. And then for some reason, I had my pattern laying. Oh, I was sitting there kind of first off thinking, this is a lot of paperwork for 2 panels, like 2 rectangle panels. That's like 5 pages. How come so much? Then I got looking at the front cover again. I don't know if you guys can see right here. But, okay, right here, sorry. There's a shorter panel. And I thought, there's no indication of shaping arms when you do the rectangles, like where you start so many and then you go in. So I'm okay, I better maybe read these instructions a little better and realize, oh no, there's 4 panels you make. Your front and your back, which are said stitches wide, said rows repeat. Then there's 2 smaller panels, rectangle panels, much smaller amount of stitches, and a fair bit shorter. I thought, okay. So I ripped out what I was making, and I thought, this is actually perfect, because by this point, I'd done a bit of the pattern, I understood it really well, and I thought, it's going to be easy now to alter it to fit my size, I'm hoping. So, I ripped it all out for what I had already done. I went to the proper hook size, and I did the 2 small rectangle side panels first to the specification in said pattern. And then I thought, okay, if it sits about here under my arm, like along the side of my chest, it goes down to my hips where I want it to sit. Perfect. And now I'm 5'9". Okay, so I'm thinking I gotta maybe alter it a little bit widthwise and maybe a little bit longer in the torso part for the front and back panel. So I started, I always say front panel first. I don't know why. I always classify when you do the 2 panels, I always say the first one's the front panel. It's just something I've always done. So when I started the front panel, I got, I think, 4 rows into it. And what I did was I laid it down, and I was going with the stitch count that the pattern called for and the hook size. I laid it down on the table, and I put the 1 side panel right beside it as if it was pretty much stitched together, and I measured that width, and then I doubled it. And then I kind of went across the chest area, the stomach area, the hip area, and did measurements with what I came up with. I thought that will work, but it will be snug. So I'm just a little bit larger than a large for this pattern. So I thought, okay, let's rip it out again, just the front panel. And I added, I think, 6 multiples. Yeah, I think I added 6 or 8 multiples, because it was in multiples of 4. So maybe it was about 6. Yeah, I think it was 6 I added. Multiples. I got how many I used as my foundation instead of how many it calls for. So yeah, it's 6. And I did again, another 4 rows. And again, I buttoned it up with one of the side panels as if it was sewn together kind of thing, and measured it again, doubled it, then again measured the measuring tape on me, and I thought, perfect. That actually gives me a little wiggle room, which is what I wanted. I didn't want it snug. I wanted the squares to look the way they were supposed to. And then I thought, even if, like, I'll do the length it calls for, and then this top here's got pretty wide shoulder seams. This is what I was wearing when I measured it on me the other day. That's why I'm wearing the top again, just like, about the width of said shoulders on the top. I got it to the length it required, and then what I did was I stood in front of the mirror. I kind of held it, the front panel on me, kind of held it in place of where I wanted the shoulder seam to be, and got our arm across, holding what I can between my side of my face and my arm, holding it and hoping it's the square part across here. The neck hole was sitting where it should, and I kind of measured it on me, and I thought, okay, you know what, that's perfect, because originally I was going to go up like multiple, because it was 2-row repeat, go up maybe 4 rows, measure it again. Didn't need to at all. I thought this fits perfectly. So I got the 4 panels done, which I finished the 4th panel Tuesday while playing bingo on YouTube. Yes, I crochet while I play bingo. I then got the 4 panels together. Well, first off, I took a bunch of scrap yarn I got sitting here and kind of tacked the side panels to the front and back panels, and then just the outer part of this shoulder seams, because I didn't know how far in I want to go with putting them together. Went in the bathroom, tried it on, thought, okay, let's go this far in. Came back out, retacked the inner part of the shoulders. Went in and tried it on again. I thought, perfect. And started stitching it all up together. Now, it does call for a round of single crochets around the neck and around the armholes. I have not yet done those. I'm debating on if I'm going to or not, or I'm just going to leave it as is. So if I leave it as is, technically it's done, but it's still a WIP because I have not yet sewn in my ends. Now, hopefully I can get the hubby to take a picture of me wearing it, hopefully before Friday, and I will show it to you guys, like be wearing it, but share the picture as well so you guys can see it better. But here you go. I'll try and hold it up the best I can. I'm holding it up as if this is the front. Trying to see through the holes of the shirt so I can see how well it's showing. And then my armhole, and then the side panels going down. Like, you guys will hopefully get a better view of it, like I said, Friday. And like I said, my ends are not sewn in yet, so technically it is still a work in progress. And I don't know, like I said, I'm going to do the single crochets around the neck and the armholes. Now, a little bit about the yarn. I thought about seeing about getting it in other colors, because I do like this color that looks okay on me. But I was kind of thinking other colors. But I am honestly going to wait until I worked up the other 2 cakes, because this is taking not quite 2 full cakes. I've got a nice little amount left, and both cakes had a tie-in. Only 1 each so far that I know of. Well, the first cake for sure was only 1. And for what I have left on the second cake, I'm thinking it's going to only be 1 as well. And working from the inside out, it was about 3/4 of the way through the skein, or the cakes, right? And like I said, tie-in. That's one of my pet peeves, and it's a Lion brand yarn. It's from a big company. You would think quality control might be a little more on it. I understand occasionally you have to do a tie-on, because they don't want to waste. They want to waste as little as possible, and I understand that. But if the other 2 cakes also have tie-ons, I definitely would not get this yarn again. It's also, I don't know if you guys have ever used Red Heart Shawl in a Ball type of yarn, I believe it's called. And I know it's a 4-strand yarn. I used it recently, actually, with one of the shawls I made. And depending on how you hold it and your tension, you'll notice some strands become like a lot looser than the rest. And this was the same idea. It was like there was 2 strands. You had the 1 strand, and then you had the other one that was kind of wrapped, like spun and then wrapped around the 1 strand. So every once in a while you'd have it straight, and then every once in a while you'd have it like a whole bunch of little coils around it. So you kind of had to try to work those in the next few stitches so you're straight again with your 2 strands of yarn. So it's a little finicky, but all in all, it feels comfortable. It's not super heavy. We'll see what it's like in the summer months to wear. So there's that WIP. WIP number 2. I think we'll go with this one because you guys have seen part of it before. Didn't show it the last time when I was at the one section and realized it should have been in one of my other WIP videos, and I didn't put it in because totally forgot all about it. And again, if I get the names wrong, I'm so sorry. But this one's for Judy over at Which Piece Crafts, I think. Like I said, I'm going to try and link everyone's channel down below. But you guys saw this a little while back. And we're going to try and start at the bottom. So what it is, I was trying to organize it here on my lap. Sorry about that. I've participated now in the last 3 years in her make-alongs. I've enjoyed them. The first make-along I participated in, she did 2 that year. One was a whole year thing, and we got record covers, and we had to draw our inspirations from the covers. For example, one of them was Elvis for Christmas, like his Christmas album. So I know the item I went with was not on, that song was not on the album, but it was sung by that artist. And I made the most cutest little blue, light baby blue, looked like penny loafers kind of thing. And they had like a charcoal gray on the bottom. And of course, the moment I posted them, everyone was like, blue suede shoes. Like they knew exactly where my thought was going with that item. And then we also did a make-along that went over, I can't remember how many months. I'm sorry. It was for multiple months. I want to say 4, maybe 6. And she called it a staycation. But what she did was every 2 weeks when she would send us on another trip, she would give us information about said place we were going to, like, their state, like their flag, their state flower, and then other little bit information about said place. And we drew our inspiration from that information and made a, ongoing mystery make-along. And I went with the state flower each time. And I did a chevron pattern, which is one of my go-to patterns besides this one. And that one, I got to use a good amount of yarn in my stash to start it. And then I was realizing I'm going to have to start buying some yarn, which is no big deal. Every couple of weeks, I'd go hit my one yarn shop up and buy a skein of yarn. And then measurement-wise, I thought this isn't going to work for a really decent size of blanket. So I did a nice chunk in black. So it's a lap again. It's at my trailer. Mine kind of thing, just to throw over my laps if I'm sitting, on the couch watching a movie or whatever kind of thing. Then last year's, which I thought was amazing the way she went about showing us the pictures, was she took different pictures from trips that her family been on and stuff. And then she entered them into a program. And unfortunately, I don't remember off the top of my head the name of the program, but it would draw 6 or 7 colors out of said picture. So it's almost like giving you a paint swatch for the picture, which is kind of neat. So if you go on this amazing trip and you got these pictures and you kind of really want to, paint your home in these colors, neat program. If I can come across what it was called, I'll let you guys know down below. But it's a good way to get like paint swatches. And I did for that one the granny square blanket and then the off-white for the out part of the squares and how I joined the strips and that. If you guys go back to my earlier videos, you will see those because I definitely posted all that. Then this one, I wish I'd done it a little different than what I ended up doing. And I didn't think of it until I was halfway through. And I thought, nah, I'm not going to rip it out. And so far, I can honestly say to you, this has been worked with everything from my stash. I'm hoping the last final one will be a specific color. I'm hoping, just because it's not in here yet. And it's the only color I can think off the top of my head. So, this one's only going to have 6 photos to choose from. And each photo were of different neat little signs that she has seen in like shops and restaurants and stuff like that. So the one thing I would have done differently was I put a white stripe between each color. And I thought, okay, well, it's going to be 6 colors in total. And I thought, so there'll be 3 sets of colors for the increase section, then 3 sets of colors for the decrease section. So I went and looked for a size chart for a baby blanket. And it said, I think for the baby blanket size I was looking at, which is more like for a car seat / like for in the stroller, 30-inch by 30 inches. Now this is going to be a little wider than that. I don't know how much because I haven't decided yet what kind of border I'm going to put on it. And like I said, I kind of wish I'd done white between each one of the colors because I did my original starting section, which is the green. That was picture clue 1 for January 1st. Then January 15th, I picked out the color yellow. And then, which I'm still increasing. Then on February 1st, I picked out this darker blue color. Now, because I wanted the biggest row of the darker blue, and when I started February 15th color, the first row of it, I want to be the same number of squares going across the granny or the corner stitch to be the same amount. So I did do 1 strip of white, which is the largest strip. I got a stitch marker here from where I was last time I showed you guys this blanket. And it goes all the way across, and like you can see, it is the largest strip. Now each colorway is 12 rows back and forth. I could have easily done 10 and then a white in between, or even stuck with the 12 and added the white in between would have worked as well, or 11, but I didn't. I just knew that I wanted color 3 and color 4 to be the exact same amount of stitches so that when I do color 6, it will be the same as color 1. So then the next color was for February 15th, and it's kind of like a tealy color. And then March 1st, I picked out the pink. So I'm thinking the last color is going to be purple, because that's the only color that's not in here. Like I got the yellow, greens, blue, a teal, and then the pink. So yeah, I think, so there's, I'm trying to hold up so you guys can see the one side kind of folded. Kind of see the other side kind of folded up. So it will be interesting to see what the final color will be. Now I have made a few different granny blankets. The one that's mine that fits my queen size bed, I just did a couple rounds, I think, of single crochets on it, and then did increasing in the corners, obviously, so it's still laid flat. There was just a few rows of singles. Then another one I made, which was a graph of a teddy bear in the picture of said blanket. And then I drew one of the colors from the blanket. I don't remember which one. And I did front post, back post, I think, or front post double crochet. I don't remember which one I went with for a few rounds of the border, which gave it kind of a fun texture. So I'm thinking that's the border I'm going to do on this for maybe 3 rounds, and it's going to be in white. And I will let you know, I did use 3 different brands of yarn. They're all worsted weight yarn. I know the pink is Red Heart. No. Yes, this pink was Red Heart. I do know that the yellow and possibly the white. Not 100% sure on the white, but I know the yellow is the Michael's Loops and Thread worsted weight classic or something like that. And then I know the green, the dark blue, and the teal are all Burnett value yarn. And if it is going to be a purple, or hopefully maybe even the kind of, well, if it's going to be purple, it's going to be another Burnett. Because both purples I have up there in my bin are both Burnett. I got 2 different shades. Or if it's kind of this, almost like a berry color. It's like a purpley pink color. I'd have to pull it out, and I didn't. So if it's going to be that one, it's going to be Loops and Thread. So we'll see. So it does, like I said, have different texture. But I think it's turning out pretty cute. So you guys won't see this now again until... Okay, next clue will come out. All her clues have actually been coming out a day early, because normally it's the 1st and the 15th. And she's been doing them all, the last day of the month, and then the 14th. So you'll see this blanket again, probably on the 19th of March, if it's still on the go. If it is finished, you will not see it then till the 21st of March. So stay tuned if you want to see how it turns out. I will let you know it is going to be for sale probably. So if you're interested in it, get a hold of me. We can work something out. So there's that project. Not going to put it away right now just because I don't feel like it. Then there's this one. One YouTuber. I followed her from pretty much the start, which is Erin over at Crafting Kitty. I know I've mentioned her numerous times in my videos because I participate in a lot of make-alongs she does. I love the woman dearly. She's almost like a second sister, or a first sister to me because I don't have any sisters. And she's done 2 other times. Heard another YouTuber, and on the top of my head I can remember who it is. Maybe I will find this video talking about this one, and I'll share it down below so you guys can go check her out if you want to. But she did a Dino-tastic make-along, I believe is what she called it. And I already made an amigurumi dinosaur. Actually, I think it was in the progress of making it. It was almost done. So I entered it that year. Then she did one year a unicorn make-along. And her and this other person, like I said, I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. And again, I do apologize. If you're watching my videos, I do apologize. But they did a unicorn blanket last year. And I made a broomstick scarf. And the color I used kind of made me think of unicorn. So this time around, they're doing dragon. They both are doing the same blanket. I think it comes in 2 different ways to do said blanket. And one's making one way, one's making the other way. So I thought, okay, I want to participate. I've never made a dragon of any kind. Amigurumi, nothing. So I spent, oh boy, a good amount of time on my DIY site that I love to use, aka Pinterest. That's where I go for a lot of patterns. And I looked and I looked at different crafts. Now, at the moment, I don't have a whole lot of stuffing in my house. I could have easily found a few dragons I loved and thought, oh my god, I would so love to make that. But I got to go get a lot of stuffing. Now this make-along is going on for 4 or 5 months, I believe it is. So it's you got time. I think she only allows the one entry for this make-along. So I thought, I could on the weekend get the hubby to take me out, or I could just give him money and say, hey, stop by Walmart. I need some or an old like pillows I use the stuffing out of, or wait and gone on the weekend myself because it would take a little while to be ready to start stuffing things. And I thought, yeah, I could that would sell good. But then I'm kind of looking at them thinking what colors I want to go with. And I hemmed and hawed. And I spent, I don't know, a couple hours on this site looking. And I got looking at different graphs. And I found a couple different ones that when you blow them up, like download them and blow up the picture, it's pretty easy to read the graph. And I thought about doing it corner to corner. But then realized, okay, well then if I'm only doing it in 2 colors, I've got to make multiple little bobbins / balls to carry the color back and forth, like in between each of the color changes, because there's many spots where you'd probably be doing about 7 or 8 colors across, which is no big deal. Or I could do it in single crochet. Now the graph itself is 50 squares by 50 squares. That's why I was thinking corner to corner would make it a bit nicer size of a blanket. But then, like I said, I've only got 1 skein of each color, and I'm using the Bernette Super Value yarn. So just the regular, worsted yarn. And I just realized a few stitches fell out. No big deal. Because originally I thought I'll do single crochet, and I went with the count it gave me, and I looked at the size, and I thought, oh, that's tiny. That's very tiny. You're not going to get a blanket out of that unless I made multiple different ones and stitched them together, or multiplied it by, say, well, I could have easily done 2 probably, and then 2 wide and 2 height, and then had 4 dragons in total, which would have worked, actually, now that I think of it. But I decided, you know what? Let's go the single crochet because it's easier to carry the yarn back and forth, which would have been a bit of a pain for the dragon colors to go back and forth. But if I'd done the double the width and had 2 dragons across, 2 dragons high. So instead, I thought, the green yarn that's in here as kind of a guide is to show you I added 10 extra stitches at the ends. And I'm not very far in it. And where this green is here at the front is A, to indicate this is the front of my work, and to indicate that's an extra 10 rows I did before I actually started doing the pattern, which is, like I said, 50 stitches wide, which are in between these green marks. There you go, 50 stitches wide. And I know it's only 50 stitches up. So like I said, I did add an extra 20 to the width, and I'm going to add 20 to the height. And what I'm going to do is, it's still not going to be that big. Like if I go to my shoulder, like the armpit area, it goes just past the heel of my hand. So not very wide. What I'm going to do, though, is when it's all said and done, I think I'm going to see about getting a picture frame. And this I'm actually going to picture frame to hang it up on my wall, hopefully here behind me, is what I'm aiming for. And it's just done in a soft pink and a soft lilac color. So that's another WIP I started. Then here's another one that you guys have not seen in a while. And again, I am very sorry about that. Don't you fall down there. Almost lost some yarn, people. And that WIP would be my Sophie's Universe. I know the last few WIP videos I have posted have just been this blanket. And just a reminder for those who may not remember what Sophie's is this huge blanket with major color work. I wasn't doing the major color work part. It has got 113 rounds from start to finish. And if you change your yarn every single round, that's 226 ends you would have to sew in. And I'm not doing that. So I kind of went on Michael's because I had some PayPal gift cash saved up. And I knew the yarn I wanted to work with. I just didn't know which color at the time. And I chose the Caron Skinny Cakes. So here you go. And this is Peach Mint. Is the colorway my younger son had picked out for me. I showed him 3 colorways. And I said, hey, pick one. And this is what it's going to be. So he looked at the 3 colorways. He goes, I like this one, Mom. I thought, okay, perfect. Sounds good. Now, it is a thinner yarn because the pattern actually calls for a 4-weight. And I'm only using a size 4 millimeter crochet hook. There you go. Just a plain metal hook, nothing fancy about it. And it's going to be obviously a little bit smaller than if it was done in worsted weight yarn. Okay, give me one moment here, please, to find my stitch marker. Well, I guess I haven't done actually much since I showed it to you guys last. Oh, no, okay. The dolphin one I gotta go by. I've done more than I thought. Okay. Ignore. I don't even know why that one's in there. Yeah, the dolphin stitch marker is the last time you guys... I think that's to show me the first stitch, or the last stitch of the previous row. Okay. So the dolphin stitch marker here is where I was last time you guys saw it. This is just to indicate the first stitch of the row. Yep, that'd be the first stitch of the row. So I'm not sure though if my short rows are right. I've only done one short row and I'm partway through one long row. And the reason I don't know if it's right is the way this section, this mint green section, is written in the book. This side, the first half, you would do a whole lot less stitches than you would have on this side. And I don't think that's right in the book. Give me one moment. I will tell you what round it is. So maybe you can let me know if you've done it already and what you come across. Because I know Erin over at Crafting Kitty has put hers on timeout. And I don't know which round she was on. Okay, I'm on the run with the roses. So, round 59. So if you've made Sophie's Universe and you've got past round 59, let me know. Maybe I'm going to put her on hold, I think, for a bit. Just because I don't know. That or I might draft out the shorter row. And then as to the instructions 59 tells me, and then with another color marker, pen, or whatever, do the short row of row 60 into my graft and then see if that is correct. And if it works out properly. That's probably what I'm going to do. Let me know if you've made Sophie and you've got past round 59. So, again, This is the short row as to how I did it. I do not know if it's correct or not at this moment, but we will sooner or later find out. And then this is where I'm at for the long row, as they call it. And the little rosebuds, which are kind of cute. The instructions were like, huh? But I figured it out, and then I have not yet done the short row, the next one. And then the previous round for the long row has the leaves. So that where you're putting your rosebuds and such in. But it is cute. I'm liking it. Still in love with it. I'm just not sure if I've got the instructions down right or not. And like I said, I may be doing some drawing and making my own little graft to figure out what the instructions are telling me. I don't really want to get too far into it and then find out, no, I'm wrong. I have to rip out the whole round. So I think Sophie's going to go on timeout for a little bit. Not long, but for a little bit. Mind me for a moment here. I'm going to move my dolphin stitch marker. And let's put her over here in this rose, so I know where I left off. There you go. So we know I left off in that green rose. But yeah, I think I got this one on hold for a bit till I can figure out if there's a misprint in my book. Because I think that's where I know, like I said, I've had to frog it a couple times where the count totally did not make sense. Where, like, when you joined and you start doing the new corner, it was like off by a couple stitches. Like, I've had to frog, or not frog it, but fake it to make it kind of thing, as Mikey over the Crochet Crowd likes to say, to make it work. And like I said, I have made mistakes in the past too, where I forgot to do a treble post around certain stitches, or a double post. So then when I realized, oh, there's a post missing here, I end up doing a treble just to elongate it to make it work, because I'm not ripping back 4 rounds and trying to figure out where I am then in the pattern. But yeah, so Sophie's on hold, but still loving her. Little progress. There's no time frame on it. I'm not, crunched for time or need to get it done by a certain date or want it done by a certain date. Just whenever she gets done, she gets done. But she is coming along. Who knows? I might have an update for you guys next week. I might not. I'm not going to show them to you. Okay, I'm done with this, just so you know. I'm still on cake 2, by the way. And I have 2 full cakes. Like I said, I'm on round 59. So 41 and 13 is 54 more rounds to do. So I'm over halfway done the rounds, but obviously it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know the 4 cakes in total. Oh, my hook. Oh, okay, put that in here. If the 4 cakes I have will be enough, or if I will have to pick up a 5th one. I can't remember what my calculations were. I don't got them written down really anywhere. I just every time I look at the front for instructions and think, okay, let's do this or let's not do this, So yeah, that's where I am on Sophie. I know you guys haven't seen her in a while. I know I get a lot of good response back from Sophie. Hopefully at some point I might take a picture of her, like lay her out on the table and take a picture of her for whenever she will be getting shown off again. So next time I plan on putting Sophie in WIP video. I'm hoping to have a photo as well for you guys to see her, or laid out on my coffee table better for you guys to see how she's coming along. But I've kept you guys long enough because this video is very winded. My throat is dry. So I just have those 4 WIPs for you. But I do have an FO project. Actually, I've got 2. One you will see tomorrow for things we're making Thursday. And yes, I killed four make-alongs with 1 project, which is one of my favorite things to do. And then Friday, technically I do have a project finished, like 100% finished, and I will probably show it Friday because I want to talk about it. I don't know what I should do and use your advice. And then there's another make-along I participate in on Facebook. And we're starting another chapter of the make-alongs because it's a yearly thing, but it does it in groups. And we just started a new group this week. And the first item is not very big, so I may whip that out tomorrow and show it off on Friday. You never know. But guys, be safe, be kind, keep crafting. If you have any advice to give me for the corner-to-corner blanket on how to do maybe a border that you guys think would work, let me know. Hope you guys like the top. I can't wait to do a picture. And so keep an eye out. Maybe on Friday when I do my FO, I could have the end sewn in an actual picture to show you guys on Friday as well. And quick recap, you never know. But yeah, this is taking long enough. I'm sorry for keeping you guys for so long. Hopefully you guys have a great day for Wednesday, hump day. Can't wait to see what you're all making. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.